sit all cloudy and blaze with the prima bottles lying everywhere. Got a guitar in my hand and a Western oil can under my pulley for a chair. It's Aloha Friday, no work till 9.
Happy Aloha Friday, everybody. Happy Aloha Friday. We're just a couple of weeks away from Christmas. In fact, are we a couple of weeks or a week and a half?
A couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's right. There we go.
12 days.
12 days?
We can start the 12 days of Christmas.
12 days of Christmas, number one. Never.
Count down.
No. We don't have time for that. But this program is brought to you by...
The Pelotron Center for Economic Development and its Pelotron Company.
Yeah. PSET and his Pelotron companies. How's that? See, still is PSET. And so we welcome you, special aloha to our ED, Executive Director of PSET, and that is Lynette Adams. Also, we want to say aloha to the founders of the company that allows us to share in this presentation. That's Imoku McClellan and Harvard Kim. There we go. Okay? Nice hand for today. We've reached today.
The 12 days of Christmas starts today, and you would never know that it's actually Christmas in Hawaii right now because it's been so warm.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
It's been unseasonably warm. But then again, Hawaii only really has two seasons, which is summer and super summer. So we're in summer right now.
Yeah. Summer and super summer.
That's it.
What are you talking about?
That's all we got.
in the world, it's summer.
Summer is from November to about February.
Oh,
and then super summer is every other month.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I think we're having an extended super summer this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's been hot. It's been Kona winds. I don't get it.
Well,
No sweaters yet, nothing.
it's strange weather.
It is, it's hot.
Strange weather.
It's hot.
But good weather.
But
So-
apparently in other places in the world, it's in Antarctica, for instance, it's like hit like a new all-time low, if you can believe
Yeah.
that. They said it was like negative 200 degrees Celsius or something.
At the highest point there in Antarctica.
Yeah, isn't that absurd?
I can't even imagine how they were able to even record that.
How do you even invent a temperature that low?
Don't worry, they just made it up. Okay, so let's get to the news.
There's
okay?
a lot of news. Well, the big thing is, of course, today is, guess what?
Friday the 13th.
It is, it's Friday the 13th.
But it's 12 days before Christmas, so turn it
Yeah.
around to a positive.
Well, it really doesn't matter, though.
Do you know the history of Friday the 13th, though?
Yes, the history of Friday the 13th starts off with 1, 2. No. So Friday the 13th, go ahead.
Okay.
Give us the history.
Well, it's just people want to know like what the history is with Friday the 13th. So I kind of was like, well, what's the deal with Friday the 13th? I mean, people, besides the Freddy Krueger movies, obviously, people always like, oh yeah, Friday the 13th is a bad day. I'm not necessarily superstitious, but there's different theories on how Friday the 13th came to be. But the prevailing one is linked to the Last Supper, if you can believe this. So this goes back to Jesus' time.
Okay.
Yeah. So Judas, who was the 13th one to arrive at the Last Supper dinner, he made it 13 an unlucky number the day of the week, and add to the fact that Jesus died on a Friday. So
Okay.
hence Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the backstory about how it was unlucky or anything.
And now on to what's happening right now in the
We had
news.
some big news here in Hawaii earlier this week, huh? Do you want to take a moment for Juliana, Loretta Fuddy?
Well, I think that you can because you actually met her.
I think
What do you know about her?
Well, I was saying this morning as we were coming in, every time I think about her, it's just like this laughter, this smile, and the blessing of having worked with her, and we were sharing that over the decades, advocating for children,
Right.
babies, and finally in the last 3 to 4 years, we finally saw focus on the early childhood, and in the last year on babies, and she was instrumental in being able to help us, have the governor sign the first ever action strategy plan for early childhood. Really, as I was saying to your dad, probably the only one that I can think of in the department besides Dr. Louise Iwaishi that had that vibrant kind of joy that, when she came through the state departments over there at the Department of Health. I mean, you knew she was there by her laughter, her presence, and because she had been with the department for over 30 years, in 2011 the governor did appoint her to become the state health director.
Wow.
And so what we've been able to see, especially in the last couple of years, the breaking down of silos, systems cross-communicating with each other, and I think, she was a big part of that. So it's a major loss to those who had the privilege of working with her, but I think even more those who worked really alongside her in the Department of Health have been in major shock, and some of the emails that I've received, I want to say that as one shared, no words can describe how much she meant to them. So that was a major loss, and to the people of Kalaupapa, she was there.
Was that a plane or a helicopter?
A plane.
Plane.
A little Cessna, as they said.
Cessna, that's right. It was a Cessna.
Yeah, Cessna caravan. But it's still unclear as to what happened because she got out of the plane and it seemed like she was okay,
Yeah.
life vest
Yeah,
on, and
everybody got out.
yeah, and whether she had a heart attack or what. But I think the more important thing is we're seeing the outpouring of really her effects, whether at church at St. Teresa, within her own personal community of her family, over at Department of Health, and
People in Molokai.
Molokai, yeah, and and all over. But I think she was one of those rare ones that she made everybody laugh and smile. And in the State Department, it's a lot of work, a lot of paperwork, and so to see, think of where they've come today to where they were, and I think she had a profound impact on those changes. So we will miss her because she was one of our biggest advocates for our early childhood and for our babies.
See, that's it. See, that's the rest of the story, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I think so many people have come forward and talked about her. Unfortunately, when this initially came out, it was a tragic story. And that's the way they made it, that it was a tragic story. But actually, if you look at how many people's lives were saved,
Yes, yeah.
I mean, just think about that. The responsibility of the pilot to get the plane down, get everybody out of the plane so that they could survive.
Right.
It probably, if you really look at it objectively, even though we lost one life, it still is something that was very, 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 I mean, once you get into that situation, look at the survivors talking about being in a plane, going down, and thinking that this is the last moment in my life. Yeah,
That's a trippy.
Yeah, because
And, as you said, I mean, credit, and we talked about this yesterday, how the reports kept focusing on, the air company and everything, but the pilot really did a remarkable, amazing job to bring the plane down when that, whatever the blast was from, and then to actually glide that plane down to the water where they were able to get out. And they said there was not the kind of screaming and all the havoc that you would imagine. It really was very calm. Everybody helped each other.
and the seas were rough.
Yes,
So-
and and one person actually swam, what was it, like a mile or so to shore. And we talk about that side of Kalaupapa being very rough from Father Damien times, and how the people would have to swim to shore. So imagine that they were able to be saved, and one was able to get to shore safely, and
Yeah,
all
so-
the people came out and helped them in
Yeah.
Kalaupapa.
And I must comment on the head of the airlines, because the head of the airlines guy was just,
Oh, so
he was so noble
Yes.
in the way he shared this story. He was so wonderful and never held back, never stopped doing the interviews. I mean, through all of the stations,
And tried to
just
answer
kept going,
everything.
tried to answer everything. This is a very great leader.
And we talked about how unfortunate it was. He hears the news about Diliana or Loretta Fuddy's death right on the air by Ben Gutierrez, which is amazing that they didn't stop the cameras and tell him. It was like right on live TV.
Yeah, and no matter what the other stories are, that was the biggest story. So, we got to
thank you, Diliana, for
Yeah.
all that you gave to our state, to our children, our families, Kupuna, and everyone, and in your department. We know that you will be very much missed. We thank you for all the years of dedication you gave to all of us.
There you go. There you go. How beautiful is that? Yeah. I think we better go to a Christmas song. Yeah. Something very, very special and probably pertinent to this wonderful day and that beautiful story. We'll be right back. This program brought to you by
The Pelotron Center for Economic Development and its Pelotron companies.
Happy Aloha Friday, everyone. I'm Kimo Kahoano,
This is Ika Kahoano.
And Leilani Kupalo Marino.
along with our engineer, Min. Blessings. Angels we have heard on high. Welcome to Aloha Friday, brought to you by
The Pelotron Center for Economic Development and its Pelotron companies, and that is much better.
Is that much better?
Good morning,
Yeah.
everyone.
Hello.
My dad and
I'm
Takeo.
really here.
Thank
Can you guys hear
everyone.
me? Yeah, everybody could hear me, but not. Thank you, Keone Coelho.
Oh my gosh, even
John
Kaleo
Coelho.
from Chicago said the same thing.
Yeah.
You can't hear Mike. Kimo's mic is not on.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and we couldn't even hear him in the studio. The levels on that mic were.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Just
thank
very
you to
distracting.
Keone Coelho.
My-
Thank you to
My dad,
your dad,
Kaleo in Chicago.
Kaleo in Chicago, and anybody else who wanted to pick up the phone but couldn't.
And sorry about that.
Yeah, we had to adjust
Technical difficulties.
all of the microphones, so we've moved one over to the left.
Exactly.
So mahalo
For some
to
of you
everyone.
going, huh?
Yeah, Kaleo and the Makani girls know what we're talking about since they
Yeah,
were in studio.
they were in studio.
So Dad's mic not working this morning for
Okay.
whatever reason.
Okay,
But hey, so today's
back
Friday
to
the
news.
13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th, and you
Right.
said you had a name for Friday
There's
the 13th.
actually a diagnosable phobia of Friday the 13th suffered by an estimated 17 to 21 million Americans.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's got a cool name, a
Yeah.
tricky name
Yeah.
that I can barely even pronounce.
Triskaidekaphobia?
I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce this properly. That's part of it. It's frigatriskaidekaphobia.
Yeah. Triskaidekaphobia.
No, say that 5 times fast.
Well,
It
just
sounds
watch
like a
out,
really
because if
terrible
people
illness.
misinterpret what you're saying, you may end up in jail.
And it happens. It can happen to up to 2 to 3 times a year. You
So
can
just say that one more time.
frigatriskaidekaphobia.
It sounds kind of a cold illness.
Right.
Yeah.
Frigate.
It's bad enough that people get colds around this time of year,
Yeah.
which you two are currently familiar.
And, well, a lot of people are really experiencing cold. We don't have cold in Hawaii.
But it's kind of
we
funny.
think we have cold.
I'm gonna call my work today. I can't come in. I got my frigatriskaidekaphobia is acting up.
Wow.
I got a flare up of my frigatriskaidekaphobia today, guys. I can't make it in.
Man, I think that's a song. I think it's a song.
It's something.
Frigatriskaidekaphobia? Oh. What? Give me that again.
I don't know. It sounds like it was something.
Come on, look at it. Look at it, and let's break it
I
down.
don't even need to look at it. It's in the data banks
Okay,
already.
okay.
But it sounds like
Give me
something
the
that's
first
out of
part. Give me the
Mary
first-
Poppins. Or
Give me the
Sound
first
of
part.
Music.
Hello,
Frigga.
listening.
I guess that's like Friday.
Give me the
Frigga.
first part. Frigga,
Yeah.
Frigatris is 3.
Frigatrisk,
Oh,
Kai.
okay.
Guy,
Kai.
Kai.
Yeah.
Frigatriskai.
Deca.
Frigatriskai.
Deca.
Decaphobia.
Deca the halls with balls of holly.
Yeah. Frigatriska.
Frigatriskaidekaphobia.
Yeah, okay.
We'll save it for next October.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So that's the name of it. And if you have that, ooh, that's
Yeah.
at least it only occurs like 2 to 3 times a year. Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
so with that in mind, I want to go to the biggest story in the news, and Nelson Mandela's passing
Yes. Yes.
was just amazing. It's unfortunate that many of us only remember one thing: this guy giving the
Yes.
signs for the
Fraud.
dignitaries and didn't have one right.
No.
Yeah. So, and then he says he's got schizophrenia.
What? And
He
then-
doesn't have frigatriskaidekaphobia?
No.
Well, but they hire him the night before, and then the company is no longer to be found.
Yeah, because
does
if,
all that
if
get
they found the
passed?
company, they would persecute him and put him in jail.
But
So,
amazing that
yeah.
they got to be that he got to that level right
That
next
level,
to the president.
Right next to the president and many other dignitaries. So,
Yeah.
so really, really strange. But if we go back to Nelson Mandela,
Yes.
now we're talking about a
Most
person,
important.
and his kindness runneth over, so to speak.
Yes.
Is that, in this Christmas season, we all want to be, and we all talk about being that good person, and he was that good person. He just was that good
Or
person.
like you said, in prison, that they took a step back and reflected on what did they not do right. And I think when he was finally released, he was able to live out what they realized needed to be done,
Yeah.
and then how to move the whole nation forward in a peaceful way to be able to break down apartheid finally.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What was it we talked about? He was that peacemaker. He was the prisoner that had to learn.
Well, the irony is that he goes to prison and he meets all of these other guys who
Yeah.
have the same feelings and the same heart and
Yeah.
the same spirit, and many of them, didn't know what to do, but he gave them also an understanding that even though they're in prison, that it's okay, and just the kindness that everybody talks about that this man shared in kindness. If we could all just be, half of that.
You see in
We're
his face
just
too.
such better people, really.
You could see in his face that kindness. I mean, it was
Yeah.
so genuine
Even-
that inside.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, even Scrooge would be a better person. People.
I have seen Scrooges turn
well, there are
nice.
many grumpy people in this world, but if we think about Nelson Mandela, it's a moment. It's a moment to just capture, just for a short period of time. That'd be great. Right now. Grammy nominees. Oh yeah. Mike Kai. Grammy Award nominees. Kahula Nui. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, that's so super. Mahalo to Charles Michael Broadman and, of course, Lolena Naipo. mahalo for making the time to be a part of this program. It's really great. It's time to get you updated with some sports at 7:53.
That's right, 7:53. I'm Ikai Kakahuano. Let's go sports. NBA greatest of all time, Michael Jordan can add yet another notch to his record-breaking belt. The Air Jordan sneakers that he wore in Game 5 of the 1997 NBA Finals, dubbed the Flu Game. The winning bid, $104,765. As a side note, Jordan's Chicago mansion auction has been postponed until December 16th. The Heisman Trophy will be awarded tomorrow night, and all sources indicate that Florida State QB Jameis Winston has pretty much wrapped up this year's trophy. Hopefully, St. Louis alum Marcus Mariota can make it happen next season. And in the NBA, Kobe is back after tearing his left Achilles 8 months ago. And he will need a Kobe Bryant-sized performance tonight as the 10-11 Lakers face off against this season's scoring leader Kevin Durant and the 17-4 Oklahoma City Thunder tonight in Oklahoma City. And is there a new Millennia Bo Jackson? We'll see, as this year's NFL MVP candidate, Seattle Seahawks standout quarterback Russell Wilson was drafted by Texas Rangers and will attend 2014 spring training. And in the NFL, the Broncos fall last night to Laie's Manti Te'o and his San Diego Chargers, leaving playoff home field advantage for them up in the air. And in UH football, head coach Norm Chow has fired his defensive coordinator and linebacker coaches. New hires have yet to be announced, but whatever the Bulls have to do, let's hope they're on the opposite side of things next season. But in basketball, the Bulls are on the proper side of things this season at 6-2, coming off a 4-game win streak to face Chaminade in Lihue tomorrow night, heading into the Diamond Head Classic from the 22nd to the 25th, where President Obama is rumored to make a possible appearance at one of the games. And it's not simply because he's a Kama'aina and loves basketball, but his brother-in-law, Craig Robinson, is the head coach of Oregon State, one of 8 teams in the tournament.
Wow.
And that's your sports recap on Aloha Friday.
All right.
Yeah, and also a side note, my younger brother, Kamoela Kahuana, is going to be singing for the championship game on the 25th.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
at the Diamond Head Classic. Singing the national anthem.
Now, you have something that's going on. What is it that you wanted to update?
Oh, right. Yeah, I was telling you about
the cure to Triska Deca.
Mecca, friggin' like a my, Mecca Heine Ho.
What's your prescription, Mr. Ikaika?
That's
Dr.
right.
Ikaika?
So my prescription for the Frigga Triskaidekaphobia, appropriately termed Friday the 13th phobia.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an actual medical term, a technical term. So, some phobia cures for Frigga Triskaidekaphobia, which I think is interesting on this Friday the 13th. If you want to get over this, for the 17 to 21 million Americans who apparently suffer from this, here's a way to get over this superstition.
Okay, quick.
You can climb to the top of a mountain or skyscraper and burn all of your socks that you own that have holes in them.
Okay.
Or you can stand on your head and eat a piece of beef gristle.
Okay. Standing on your head, you know.
And eating beef gristle.
Okay. Standing on your head is good for you, you know.
While eating beef gristle, apparently.
Well, what I heard is...
No, you're right about that, though.
Is that hair is the last thing to get nutrients. Okay, your hair on your head.
Right.
So if you stand on your head, then your hair is going to get nutrients faster.
I don't think the dynamics
work that
of it.
way?
No, I don't think so. Gravity will pull
It
it
sounded so good, though.
You know, I always wondered
I don't think so.
Speaking of that, Leilani.
Yes.
Coming up is Princess...
Princess Bernice Pauahi Bishop's birthday next week.
Okay.
December 19th, and so we'll be having a Li'i Sunday coming up actually this Sunday at Kawaihao Church at 9 o'clock.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
thank you.
The princess, of course, Kamehameha Schools.
Kamehameha Schools and
E
at Mauna
ola o Pauahi, e Pauahi lani nui.
Oh, that is so
I just
cool.
wanted
You
to
can
do that to the
remember all
grads and have them sing along.
It's like when Imua Kamehameha comes on, everyone stands and starts singing.
Well, it was Father's Day. So anyway, it's all good. We're headed to next week, one more big time where we can
Before Christmas.
hopefully get Kamola in here with some live Christmas carols. Okay?
Yes.
I think we could play Ron Tish's song for just like an hour straight.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Oh, you
That's a good
Yes.
song.
Okay.
I really like that song. I don't know why. It just totally
But
grew on me in 1 week.
the fact is, it's Aloha Friday.
Friday,
No work till Monday. Dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-doo. It's Aloha Friday. It's Aloha Friday. No work till Monday. Dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-doo. Was the night before Christmas and all through the holiday. steamy and lao lao and ho male male. I don't know the rest of the words, but that's okay, cause it's Christmas and we're feeling okay. It's Aloha Friday, no work till Monday. A dooby 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 doo. Boombox. It's Aloha Friday. It's Aloha Friday. No work till Monday. A dooby 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 dooby. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Sit all cloudy and blades with the green bananas lying everywhere. Got a guitar in my hand and a Western oil can under my ukole for a chair. It's Aloha Friday.